Welcome to Resilience and Resolve with Lance Drury.
Welcome back to Tax Resolution Talk with attorney Lance Drury. For decades, Lance has fought for individuals and small businesses facing the IRS. And he's also built a firm that serves clients across the country. I'm Evan Mack, and today we're talking about leadership. From his start as a public defender to running a multi-state tax practice, Lance has learned what it takes to lead a team through high-stakes legal battles and keep the firm moving forward. This is Leadership in Law. From public defender to law firm CEO, Lance Drury. Sir, welcome back.
Good morning, Evan. It's great to see you again.
Good morning. Good morning. Lance, let's go back to your first years, as a public defender. What did that role teach you about leading under pressure, seeing all those cases, for so many different people?
Well, let me give you something that happened when I was promoted to run the St. Joseph, Missouri office. It was a 9-county area. Columbia, Missouri was up for grabs at the time, too, but I knew I'd been with the public defender for 3.5 years. And because of the lack of, you don't get paid a lot of money, I needed to advance. But I also knew that everybody would want to go to Columbia. That's the big college town in Missouri, the University of Missouri. So I knew that I would enhance my chances of landing the head post if I would tell them that I would go anywhere. Well, so I went to St. Joe. They gave me the job, but they didn't tell me how bad a shape that office was in. There were 5 attorneys in that office. Some of them were very competent. The problem was they were all part-time, and they had a civil practice. So now when you get paid a set amount to be a public defender, but you're going to get more and more money the more you work in your civil practice, guess what they did? They weren't spending the time. And in fact, this is hard to believe, Evan, clients in jail had not seen an attorney for 1.5 years.
Wow.
The investigator in the St. Joseph office would go over and talk to those clients. So what I had to do was I had to get rid of all of them and start from scratch. And so it was a bad time. And I can remember the lowest point was all I had was the legal assistant and the investigator and myself. I had to go on the record and tell the judge that we needed a continuance because if I proceeded to jury trial, I would be rendering ineffective assistance of counsel.
Wow.
And I remember going back to the office and talking to them, and it's the best thing I think I ever did because they were really down. And I just told them, look, we're going to make it. We have to do this. We have to make sure our clients get the best possible representation, and we can't do that right now. But we're going to build this up. We're going to make it a success. So resilience and resolve goes a long way. And I was determined. And in 9 months, we caught back up to where we should have been as an office.
It's awesome stuff. So what's the biggest adjustment for you going in from handling those cases like that and into managing a practice?
Well, for the most part, I like managing the practice. I mean, when I was with the public defender system, I was in charge of 8 offices in Southeast Missouri. So I like that part because then you can help more people. And my goal has always been to help as many people as possible. And if you're handling the case yourself, yeah, you might be able to handle 100 clients at a time, but our office has more than 1,000 clients at any one time now. And we're going to get to 2,000 or 3,000 one of these days. And so I kind of enjoy it. The only thing that I don't care a lot of times is dealing with the employees and those types of problems. That's not something, I'm an attorney and it's probably one of the things that I like least about running the company, but all the other stuff, the marketing, doing these podcasts, doing the radio commercials, growing the firm, looking at the financial sheets to see what we can do, starting new marketing strategies, all of that I love. And growing the business and traveling to see these people and see how well they're doing with our clientele. Because, Evan, we're a 4.8 out of 5 in St. Louis on Google reviews, or a 4.9 out of 5 in Nashville. We haven't been in Texas long enough, but it's just very gratifying to be able to help so many people.
It's awesome stuff. What are some of those early leadership mistakes that you made that turned into lasting lessons?
Uh, I think, and I alluded to this in another segment that we did, was you change your strategies about how to scale the business.
Like,
Change your strategies on how you hire. I've really made a number of changes there. I'm sure there's many great enrolled agents. I haven't had much success with enrolled agents. I would only hire attorneys now. I think their skills in terms of negotiation, argumentation, they go beyond the numbers. I tell everybody, most tax attorneys talk numbers. I talk financial freedom. I give people their lives back, their peace of mind. I save their assets. I save their businesses. I save their marriages. That's what we do. So it's more than just the numbers. And so I think in terms of changing my strategy on how I hire, that's been very significant in terms of the firm.
how do you keep your team steady when you're handing out, complex, urgent IRS cases?
Well, I've had this problem recently with my managing attorney in my Nashville office. We have a personnel issue down there now, and he's also got some problems with, he's got some high volume cases that demand a lot of work right now because he's got deadlines. So he was on the phone the other day and he says, "Oh, I just hate going through this." And I was trying to soften him up a little and make it sort of light. But I said, "Well, Matthew, have you ever thought about being a librarian? I mean, then you don't have to worry. I mean, that's part of being a lawyer. It's part of management. You have to go in." And I was sitting in here with one of my legal assistants, and one of my attorneys did not quote a client the right fee. And I was going to see that client on Saturday in St. Louis. And he said, "Well, I apologize to you. I'm sorry that I didn't ask him for it." And I said, "That's no problem." And my legal assistant said, "Yeah, he goes through a lot more than that on a regular basis, but you just get used to it. You understand what the ultimate goal of being here, what the ultimate purpose is, and that makes all that you have to go through a lot easier."
Communication is central to your practice, Lance. How do you make sure both your staff and your clients stay on the same page with that communication?
Well, we ask them to communicate with the client at least once a month, whether or not there's anything going on. And so we can monitor that. We have a system that I can go into because they're required to put all of that into the system so that I can see what's going on and what's not. And I sit down and go through cases with them every morning as well. So, I will ask them from time to time, "When's the last time you talked to this client?" And if it's been more than 30 days, and I tell them, "Well, you better touch base with this person," because you probably know this, Evan, but the biggest complaint to the bars from clients is the attorney is not communicating with me.
Yep.
That is by far the biggest complaint. So we want to make sure that we fulfill that function and stay in touch with our clients on a regular basis.
Hmm. How do you balance serving clients with also leading your team?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not so sure that I understand that question fully, but I just try to impart to all of my attorneys and my legal assistants the importance of helping these people out. I mean, a lot of these people come from bad situations. Uncle Sam, when he calls them up, he doesn't ask them what caused this tax liability, but we care about that. A lot of people, they're taking care of their parents, and so they don't have any monies left over, or they're trying to put their kids through college, or their kids are sick or something, and they have all these medical bills, or they've been sick, or they run a small business and they fell behind because some client didn't pay them. So in order to keep the business going, they pay their employees, they pay their suppliers. They think they're going to catch up with Uncle Sam the next quarter, and it just sort of snowballs. And everybody, I changed another rule in the old days, Evan. I would take very little money up front, do all this work, and people are notorious about not paying lawyers once the case is resolved. I didn't learn my lesson until my early 50s. I don't even want to think about how much money I'm out. So we have a rule now that we do not finish the case until we've been paid in full, because I don't want to chase after money. And once the case is done, people aren't going to pay you anyway. So we have to do that, or I wouldn't be able to employ all the people that I employ.
Speaking of those people, though, I think it's important to build a culture where people want to stay and they thrive. How does leadership tie into building that culture in your practice?
Well, I think it ranks highly. We're very family oriented. So, I live in a small town. So, if they've got the schools right up the street, so if they, want to see their daughter play volleyball, they go do it. They make it up some other time. We have flexible schedules. If you had told me that I was ever going to be able to afford to pay for everybody's medical insurance, I would have told you were nuts. I thought, there's no way I'm going to make that kind of money. But, you have to do it. And even here, because everybody in town is offering full medical, we do that. They have a life insurance policy. They have all the benefits of a big corporation without all of that corporate culture. I mean, I just talked to a guy the other day. He's in his 40s. Nice guy, worked for a big company. He says, I'm never going back to corporate America again. He said, I'm just fed up with all the rules and this or that. And so if you treat your people right, the people that you employ, they're going to treat your clients right. They're going to see, and they're going to remember what you do for them, So, they're very grateful for what they have here. And, we have a lot of fun here too, and we go out and we have happy hours from time to time just to keep everybody here together and let them know that they're very appreciated.
Absolutely. For younger attorneys hoping to grow beyond that one-person practice, what's your advice about stepping into that leadership position?
Well, I think one of the big things are, the people here say I do a great job of delegation. You got to understand, it's very hard for an attorney to want to let loose of that client.
Yeah.
I don't, they want to, but you're limiting yourself by doing that. I would not have been able to grow the office. I probably had 60, 70, 80 clients at any one time when it was just a one-man show. So I think you're going to have to do the delegation. I think you have to look at the big picture. What's more important to you, helping as many people as you possibly can, or do you just want to focus into all the minutiae of a particular case? And frankly, I'm happy to give all that up because I think I can do more. I think I've proven that I can do more by stepping into this role, giving up that hands-on, and because I've got other people who can do the casework as good as I can. So, this is how you grow, is recognizing that there's other things that you can do to help your employees and to help grow the business.
And looking back, Lance, what leadership principle has guided you most in building your career and building your firm as well?
Well, I think you're always going to have bad days. You're always going to have times that don't go very well for whatever reason, but you just got to keep going. I had a great aunt, and she always told me when I'd go to her with my problems, she'd go, well, that's no hill for a stepper. And that's an old Southern expression that you just got to keep going. You got to keep going, and you'll get through this. So a lot of resilience and a lot of resolve, a lot of determination to keep going, and that's what gets you through the bad days.
Awesome stuff. Lance Drury, sir, appreciate you.
Thank you, Evan. Always good to see you, my man.
Love to see you as well. This has been Tax Resolution Talk with Lance Drury. For more insights or to connect with Lance directly, visit lancedrurylaw.com. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave a review, share this information with someone else that might find it helpful as well. And we will see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.